You're not broken because life is chaotic. You fail when you try to control what was never yours. Someone else's mood, a past you can't rewrite, a future you can't predict. Most people spend their days reacting to things far outside their reach, forgetting that the real battlefield is internal. Stoicism begins the moment the illusion of total control shatters. It doesn't ask you to dominate life, only to direct your response. Not to fix everything, but to recognize what's within your command. Real power isn't loud. It's the quiet ability to choose your focus, your breath, your action in the middle of everything falling apart. This video isn't about ignoring the chaos. It's about building the mindset that stays grounded through it. You'll learn 7 Stoic rules to stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable and reclaim peace from the only place it ever existed, within. Welcome to Stoic Philosophy Daily, where your story matters. Share your experience or your biggest struggle below. Every comment you leave is a gift. Here, your voice matters. We read with care, answer with heart, and treat your journey as part of our own. This is more than a channel, it's a circle of strength. Comment below, I choose clarity over control. Let's begin. 1. Peace begins where control ends. You don't need to win control over everything. You need to stop losing yourself in the attempt. From childhood, we're wired to control, crying to get attention, demanding the world adjust to our feelings. That instinct never really disappears. It just disguises itself as overthinking, perfectionism, and people-pleasing. We try to predict how others feel. We obsess over outcomes. We force peace as if it were a prize we can wrestle into place. But peace doesn't respond to pressure. It shows up when we stop squeezing what was never ours. Epictetus said it plainly, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. This is not poetry. It's a call to reclaim your mind. The more you chase control, the more you give your peace away. Think about it. You're stuck in traffic. You clench the wheel, curse the delay, spiral into blame. But none of that moves the cars. All it does is tighten the storm inside. Now flip it. You breathe. You remind yourself, this isn't mine to fix, but how I respond is. That shift doesn't just lower your blood pressure, it restores your sovereignty. The Stoics never taught you to ignore life. They taught you to interpret it differently. Pain isn't always personal. Delay isn't always defeat. Sometimes the chaos outside is neutral. It's the meaning we attach that turns it into torment. Letting go isn't passive. It's a practiced skill, a decision to stop outsourcing your peace to unstable things. The weather changes, people disappoint, plans fall through. However, your focus, breath, and character are your tools. And you don't need to control the storm when you've learned to steer the ship. Try this. The next time you feel that clench in your chest, stop. Ask yourself, what am I trying to control right now that's not mine? Then loosen your grip. Let go, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Choose peace not when things go your way, but when they don't, and you still respond with clarity. At Stoic Daily, we believe the strongest minds aren't those that control the most. They're the ones that surrender the fastest to what isn't theirs. Drop a comment, I reclaim my peace by letting go. 2. Reclaim your energy. You lose more energy through your thoughts than through your actions. Not from moving your body, but from carrying everything your mind refuses to drop. Past arguments, future fears, people who no longer walk beside you, and outcomes you were never meant to control. By nightfall, your body isn't tired, your soul is, because your attention has been pulled in 1,000 directions, and none of them were yours. The Stoics knew this wasn't just emotional exhaustion. It was a crisis of misdirected focus. Epictetus warned us, If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because reclaiming your peace often means letting go of things others still chase. Energy is your most limited resource, but most people spend it as if it's infinite, fighting the past, predicting the future, over-explaining, people-pleasing, and spiraling into hypotheticals. You were not built for this kind of mental overexertion. No one is. Think of your energy like a currency. Every time you overthink, you spend it. Every time you chase someone's approval, you swipe the card again. And when you finally try to focus on what matters, your values, your goals, your discipline, there's nothing left in the tank. Try this. The next time you catch yourself spiraling into what-if scenarios or replaying a conversation, pause. Ask yourself, is this mine to control, or am I feeding a loop I can't fix? If it's not yours, drop it, like setting down a heavy bag at the door of your mind. Not because you don't care, but because your care is too sacred to waste. This is not emotional avoidance. This is energetic alignment. The Stoic filters life like a skilled editor, removing what clutters the frame. Protect your inner space like you would your home. You don't leave your door open to every stranger. Why leave your mind open to every worry? At Stoic Daily, we believe clarity is power. When you stop leaking energy into the uncontrollable, what's left is pure presence. And that's where strength begins. Comment below. I protect my peace by filtering my focus. 3. Let go of the illusion of control over others. You can't hold the wind in your hands. Yet that's exactly what we try to do when we cling to the belief that we can change people. If we're kind enough, patient enough, calm enough, maybe they'll finally become who we need them to be. But that's not love. That's illusion dressed up as hope. And illusion is the most exhausting form of effort. Every time you over-explain, mold yourself, replay the conversation, or draft the perfect message you'll never send, you're feeding the illusion that peace is something they give you, not something you choose. The Stoics taught that harmony with nature means accepting others as they are, not who you wish they'd be. Marcus Aurelius lived this when he wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant." Not to become bitter, but to become free from shock, free from false expectations. Control disguised as connection is emotional self-erasure. You don't need to compromise your values to maintain peace. You need to stand firm in them to find peace. The moment you try to bend someone else's will to fit your needs, you've left the space of love and stepped into fear. Fear of rejection, of not being enough, of being abandoned. But clinging never created a connection. It only created exhaustion. The more you chase, the more you shrink. And the more you shrink, the more invisible you become to yourself. Try this. For the next 3 days, catch yourself in the act of mental chasing, crafting unspoken arguments in your mind, obsessing over how they perceive you, and imagining what you'll say next time. Pause, breathe, then ask, what am I actually trying to control here? If it's their thoughts, their choices, or their transformation, release it. Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Letting go isn't closing your heart. It's opening your eyes. You can care without carrying. You can love without losing yourself. You can walk away not to punish, but to protect. At Stoic Daily, we believe that freedom begins where forced connection ends. Comment below. I choose peace over control. 4. Accept reality to reclaim power. You can't fight a river by standing still. The harder you resist its current, the more it pulls you under. And most people spend their lives in that resistance, arguing with reality, clinging to what should have been and wondering why they feel so drained. Most suffering doesn't come from what happened. It comes from our refusal to accept that it did. That breakup, that failure, that unexpected shift in life. It's not the event itself that hurts most. It's the internal war we wage, trying to reverse it in our minds. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This is not passive advice, it's practical liberation. Because when you accept what is, you unlock what can be done. You stop reacting unthinkingly and start responding with strength. Imagine being caught in a storm. You could scream at the sky, or you could find shelter, wrap your coat tighter, and adapt. One path drains you, the other prepares you. Acceptance isn't approval, it's preparation. The Stoic understands this. Acceptance is not weakness. It is the foundation of clarity. It says, "This is where I am. Now, what will I do from here?" That question, asked without illusion, is the start of transformation. Try this. Take a piece of paper and write one thing you've been resisting, a truth about a relationship, a situation in your health, something from your past. Don't edit, don't judge, just name it. Then say aloud, "This is real, I don't have to like it, but I choose to face it." Feel the shift. That moment is where suffering ends and power begins. The mind calms when it sees clearly. The heart steadies when it stops pretending. Acceptance is not the end of effort. It's the start of an aligned effort. You stop throwing punches at ghosts and start building something solid. And it starts with self-acceptance. Not the kind that excuses your flaws, but the kind that faces them without flinching. This is who I am today, and I take full responsibility. That's how growth begins, not in shame, but in truth. At Stoic Daily, we believe that once you stop resisting what is, you reclaim your strength to shape what will be. Comment below. I choose truth over illusion. 5. Train the mind to filter chaos. Chaos doesn't break you. Your reaction to it does. Most people face life like a sponge, soaking up every insult, every worry, every disappointment until they drown in it. But the Stoic, he becomes a filter. He lets the noise pass through and only keeps what matters. Chaos is not the enemy. It's the pressure test, the forge. The world will always throw storms, criticism, delay, betrayal, failure. But the real power is in what your mind does next. Like a blacksmith hammering steel, it's the way you shape your thoughts under fire that defines your strength. Marcus Aurelius trained his thoughts daily, asking, "Is this within my control? And does this deserve my energy?" This is how the Stoic slows time. When others react, he reflects. Where others explode, he examines. That pause is not a weakness. It's mental strength, earned through repetition. Try this. Next time someone disrespects you, don't bite back. Pause. Picture yourself holding a sieve over your thoughts. Ask, is this about me or their pain? That single mental filter creates emotional distance. And in that gap, you reclaim your judgment. You stop the wildfire of overreaction before it spreads. At the root of this shift is a truth few want to face. Most chaos isn't external. It's the echo chamber in our mind, our assumptions, our imagined threats, our silent need for control. When you begin to challenge those patterns, the volume drops. The storm quiets. Clarity doesn't mean silence, it means precision. It's the difference between shouting in the dark and striking one clean match. Sometimes clarity tells you to walk away. Other times, it tells you to speak up, but it never shouts. It never panics. It waits, listens, and then moves with intention. This isn't natural, it's learned. You must unlearn the habit of urgency and the addiction to reaction. Every time you stop yourself from saying the thing you'll regret, from spiraling down imagined worst-case scenarios, You train the muscle of stillness, and that's when chaos loses its teeth. You no longer fear the storm because you've trained yourself to listen through the wind. You become the lighthouse, not untouched by the waves, but unshaken by them. Filter life like a Stoic, not by avoiding emotion, but by questioning it. Ask, is this true or just fear speaking? Is this mine to carry or just noise trying to get in? Most chaos is mental static. Don't let it fill your frequency. At Stoic Daily, we believe that clarity is not a gift to be taken for granted. It's built in the pause, in the question, in the choice. Comment below. I choose clarity over chaos. 6. Strength is built through surrender. Strength is not always forged by pushing harder. Sometimes it's revealed the moment you stop fighting what already is. That sounds backward in a world that praises resistance, grit, and never yielding. But Stoicism points to a quieter truth. The struggle that exhausts you most is often the one against reality itself. Surrender, in the Stoic sense, is not defeat. It's discipline. It's the clear-eyed moment when you stop arguing with facts and start aligning your energy with what's actually happening. Not because you like it, not because it's fair, but because pretending otherwise only drains you. That moment of honesty is not weakness. It's clarity under pressure. Think about being caught in a strong current while swimming. Thrashing against it feels brave, but it quickly saps your strength. Panic sets in. Your body tightens. But when you stop fighting, when you let yourself float for a moment, your breathing steadies. Your mind clears. From that calm, you regain the ability to move, to redirect, to reach the shore. Life works the same way. Resistance tightens the body and clouds judgment. Surrender restores space to think. The Stoics understood that suffering multiplies when we cling to how things should have been, rather than accepting them as they are. We replay conversations. We rewrite endings. We cling to the past as if it can still be changed. But Seneca warned us plainly, fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. When you surrender to what is, you move with life. When you resist, you are pulled through it, exhausted. This applies not only to loss or failure, but to the small frictions of daily life. The delay, the missed opportunity, the unexpected detour. Each one tests your grip. Each one asks the same question. Will you wrestle the moment or will you meet it? Every time you choose acceptance, your nervous system softens, your mind stops bracing. Energy once wasted on frustration becomes available for action. Surrender requires courage because it demands a profound level of trust and faith. Not unquestioning optimism, but reasoned trust. Trust in your ability to adapt. Trust that fighting the inevitable only makes it heavier. And in that trust, something shifts. Strength is no longer about how much you can carry. It becomes about how wisely you can release. Try this. Think of one situation you've been resisting lately, a change you keep denying, a truth you avoid naming. Instead of pushing against it again, pause and say, "This is here." Feel what happens in your body. Notice how tension loosens when resistance stops. From that place, ask, what is the next clear action I can take? That is surrender with direction, not surrender without movement. Surrender doesn't mean silence or inaction. It means your actions are guided by reality, not illusion. You move from force to flow, from tension to clarity, from struggle to strength. At Stoic Daily, we believe real strength is revealed when you stop wrestling shadows and start responding with wisdom. Comment below, I choose surrender with clarity. 7. Choose response, not reaction, again and again. Every moment is a test. Someone cuts you off, misunderstands you, triggers your pride. You feel the heat rise. Your jaw tightens. Your thoughts sharpen into weapons. That's the fork. One path is reaction, fast, defensive, raw. The other is a response, measured, intentional, and clear. And the power lies not in what you feel, but in what you do next. Most people think strength means dominating the moment and raising their voice, proving a point and firing back. But real strength is quieter. It pauses, it questions, it chooses. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That power reveals itself in the pause before the storm. Reaction is the default. Response is the discipline. And discipline begins by watching yourself in real time and noticing when your body tenses, when your thoughts loop, and when your pride demands a defense. In that exact second, ask, is this mine to control? Is this worthy of my peace? Let's be real. Most of your reactions aren't truly your own. They're inherited, copied from childhood, absorbed from stress, built from past wounds. But the response is yours to make. It's not about being passive. It's about choosing your weapon, truth instead of heat, silence instead of ego, values instead of noise. Try this. This week, don't aim to stay calm all day. Just win the next pause. One argument, one trigger, one sharp comment. Pause before you reply. Breathe before you speak. In that breath, you take your power back. In that space, you stop history from repeating itself. Because composure is the language of self-respect, and the world hears it, even when you say nothing at all. At Stoic Daily, we believe every pause is a rebellion against your lesser self. Every pause is a brick in the fortress of your mind. Mastery over chaos begins within. True mastery begins where illusions end. You've seen it throughout this journey. The myth of control, the cost of chasing the uncontrollable, the power of reclaiming your mind. And now, here you are, standing at the edge of one essential truth. You don't rise by dominating life. You rise by learning how to meet it. Moment by moment, thought by thought, choice by choice. This episode wasn't about theory. It was a test of honesty, a reminder that control isn't found in the chaos, but in the clarity with which you navigate it. You don't need to fix everything to live a well life. You need to stop giving away your strength to what was never yours. That's what makes a Stoic different, not what they endure, but how they transform every storm into a step forward. If you've made it here, write it in the comments. I choose inner power over outer pressure. And if this message resonates with you, please share it. Someone else may also need this clarity. At Stoic Philosophy Daily, we believe your greatest victory is never out there. It's within.
If you're seeking more, discover the full path on my channel, Stoic Philosophy Daily.